Right, music lovers and vinyl lovers, Uncle Roddus back again. Another off-target video. I don't know what you call it. It's not off-target. It's a new vinyl's not coming in now because I've run out of money for a bit and work's really quiet. And it kind of gets quiet this time of the year for some reason. So anyway, what I'm going to do is a bunch of records I probably haven't shown. And it's all fairly common stuff, but the story behind me getting back into my vinyl collection, collecting vinyl again. I mean, I started collecting when I was about 13 in 13 or nearly 14, sort of the end of 1980. I got a couple of records for Christmas, and I was just starting to really get into music. I got given a little transistor radio by my nana when I was 13, the year before. And I used to listen to that. There was a great radio show on it after 10 o'clock at night or midnight or whatever it was. Used to play a lot of alternative music. I got onto that. But I was, the hits of the day, and at the time, things like Devo's Whip It and My Sexes, computer games and Split Ends. And those were some of the very first records that I ever owned. Anyway, so I collected until my early 30s, which was in... I sort of stopped collecting vinyl because it was getting harder to get and CDs it was taking over. And in 1998, I sold my entire collection. I got sick of lugging it around and I wasn't playing it. I couldn't buy a lot of stuff on vinyl anymore, and the vinyl that you did buy was really quite poor. Some of it was quite poor quality. So I kind of gave up on it. And in 1998, I sold my entire collection of around about 1,200 records. And then, anyway, so jumping ahead to, 2014. So my wife, we got together in quite a few years back after my record collection had been sold. Well after that. And she had a collection of around about 100 odd records, maybe a little bit over that. And they sat around for many years because she had nothing to play them on. And one day I bought her, at the time, a Crossley. And so she could just have something to listen to them on, and I didn't think much more about it. But then I said to her one day, look, why don't I buy you something decent to play them on, because the Crossley was crap. And I priced up some gear from the place where I buy my hi-fi gear from at the time. They've now sort of pretty much gone by the wayside, so to speak. But I priced up some pretty nice gear, and I thought, well, I'll buy her a nice little turntable and a nice little amp and a set of speakers so she can play a vinyl. And I mean, it was a little bit for me as well as for her, because she really didn't give that shit about the quality of it. Although I'm sure she might appreciate it a little bit more now after hearing my new system for a while. But I looked into that and nothing came of it because I didn't have the funds. And then finally I did have some funds become available, and I went down and had a look at it. And I said to myself, look, if you're going to be playing vinyl, the whole thing about vinyl is the analog sound, isn't it? It's an analog production directly off the groove, and there's no digital crap involved at all. And I said, if you're going to play analog, why wouldn't you play it for a tube amp? Because that's how they were originally. Everyone had tube amps pre-1960s. Before transistors came along. And I had a look, and I found this lovely little tube amp for about $900, I think it was. So basically I set her up a little system for less than $2,000, and it's a stunning wee system. It really is. It's a little bit underpowered for me because it's only 12 watts, but it's loud enough for her, and she listens to a lot of comedy records and stuff like that as well as music, but doesn't use it that much. But I took it as an opportunity to buy myself some records, some stuff that was getting released on vinyl that wasn't getting released on CD. Not a lot of that sort of stuff at the time, although there's a lot. I buy a lot more of that sort of stuff now. Anyway, that prompted me to get stuck into vinyl myself, big time, and I ended up buying. I fell in love with the valve amp, and I bought myself a valve amp. Which I was always going to upgrade my stereo system, but I ended up going to a big valve amp. I've still got the other stereo here. It's actually just beside me here, hooked up to the television, and it's what's playing in the background. And what's playing too, by the way, is The Front Lawn, more songs from The Front Lawn, their second album. I'm playing this to get, I'm not familiar with it again, but just because Don McGlashan, who's the one of the members of The Front Lawn, is playing tomorrow night, and we're going to see him, and he's a fantastic composer of New Zealand, fantastic New Zealand music. But anyway, enough of the crapping on. So my wife had a collection of about 100 records, and in that collection she actually did have some music that I like, and so I have basically kind of appropriated those records into my collection, and I don't think she kind of realises where they are, to be honest, but I play them now and again, and she goes, oh, that's one of my records, who said you could play my record? But anyway, she just gives me a hard time. But anyway, so let's get stuck into it. Right, so The Doors, this is fantastic. I love this album. I have it on CD, a double CD set, LA Woman and Morrison Hotel, but this is fantastic. Those are my two favourite Doors albums, and so it's really nice to have this on vinyl. This is a New Zealand release from, I think, judging by the price tag on it, around about the 1980s, early 1980s. I was actually unable to find it on Discogs per se, but it's actually a really good recording, a really good. The vinyl was a little bit noisy. My wife didn't look after her records all that well, and a lot of them she had acquired, and not. I mean, it's not like she actually went out and bought them herself. She acquired them from other people who, I mean, ex-flatmates, ex-partners, whatever. So she didn't really play them that much. But Pink Floyd's "Wish You Were Here," isn't it? Yeah, I love this album. This is probably my favourite of the later period Pink Floyd. After I split them up between. There's the first two albums, or the 1960s, and then there's the early 70s. There's four albums which are my favourite period, and then of course there's Dark Side of the Moon, and then it comes to this and Animals in the Wall. This is probably my favourite of those later period albums. Again, it plays pretty well, but it is a wee bit noisy. But it's nice to have it on vinyl. I do have it on CD. This is one of my more favourite of the Rolling Stones LPs, Let It Bleed. What's this, 1969. I have no idea what pressing this is, but to be honest, I haven't actually played this. I don't know if I've played this copy yet. $15.99, so it's obviously from the 1980s, a price like that on it. I've cleaned all these records, but I don't know what it sounds like, because I actually haven't played that one. Having most of the Bowie now on the box sets, but she had a little Bowie collection, which I'm going to show a bit of, obviously. So this is David Bowie's Aladdin Sane LP. This is fantastic. I love this record too. This actually plays really, really well. This is in good nick. This is a Portuguese pressing. God knows where she got it from. I love Bob Dylan. Oh, I can't even get it out of the case. Masterpieces, the New Zealand pressing of this. So lots and lots of fantastic music on this. It is a little bit noisy, unfortunately. Pink Floyd again. What album's this? A Momentary Lapse of Reason. 87. So I sort of stopped listening to the Floyd after, to be honest, after The Wall. I had the final cut on record many years ago, and that was the last Floyd album I bought back in my early collecting days. So I actually haven't listened to that yet. Some more Rolling Stones. Black and Blue. So this is the 1960s record, I think, isn't it? I can't read that, it's too small of writing. Yeah, we need to play that. Actually, I haven't played that yet. And then this one, Rolling Stones, Rolled Gold. This is a cool album. This is a cool collection. It's I think it's kind of like a singles collection from the late 60s, isn't it? I think Now, we actually had a copy, or a friend of mine had a copy of this somewhere along the line many years ago, or I may have even had a copy myself. So this is such a good compilation. Yeah, this is really, really good. Yeah, 63 to 69. So yeah, pretty much their 60s from Come On through to Gimme Shelter in 1969. So, yep. Sure, plenty of people are familiar with this record. I think it is a bit noisy, that one. Mr. Bruce Springsteen, this one here is his second album, isn't it? Darkness on the Edge of Town? Or is this his first LP? 1978. No, this is... Oh, this is about his third one, isn't it? I can't remember. Anyway, I think this might be my favourite of his earlier stuff, actually, to be honest. This is a really good album. Quite like it. Some more Rolling Stones. Sucking in the 70s. I haven't played this one yet. Fool to Cry. Yeah. 1981. Pleased to have a copy of this. David Bowie's original soundtrack film to the film Christian F. Some good stuff on here. Shit, was that in the last box set? When was... I mean, all the music's from the 70s, but when was the actual album released? I remember going to the movies to see this movie. I haven't actually watched it again. I mean, a few people made comments recently that the movie was actually quite crappy. I can't remember. I don't even know what year this came out. Yeah, there's some good stuff on there. It is... all these tracks are from my favourite Bowie period. More Rolling Stones. This is their first album, isn't it? 1964. Where's the track listing? Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is their very first LP. Yeah, so lots of blues stuff on this. Looks like it's in really good nick. I don't know if I've played it again yet. Like I say, know my wife, they are fairly noisy. Some more Bowie stage. Of course, I've got this in the latest box set, or one of the box sets that came out recently, in an expanded version, but this is still pretty cool. This is an album that actually, what happened for me was this album, I think I had this in my original Bowie collection back in the 80s and 90s, and this was an LP that I got to know all of those songs from around, like Warsaw War, Breaking Glass, Beauty and the Beast, those songs from that Berlin period, and that was my first introduction to those songs. So I really do like that LP, and it got a lot of attention. And then Mr. Bowie's biggest selling album, Let's Dance. Actually, this is really good nick, this copy, and I played it not that long ago. I'm debating about the new box set. I had to listen to it on Spotify. Now, Bowie's period from 1980 to 80... Actually, was it 82 to 88? 82 to... I don't know, whatever it is. The new box set is called Living with the Alien. Something like that. I mean, listening to it on Spotify, the 80s production really rubs me, and the music wasn't that great. And this album, I mean, we all know it, and the songs were just, especially the three hits, I think, that were off it, they were just absolutely thrashed on television and radio at the time. That album has held up pretty well. I really enjoyed it. I did have a listen to it, so because I have a copy, or we have a copy, it means I probably don't need to buy the box set, and I'm thinking, well, do I or don't I? I had listened to, someone was going how good the live, that had the box set already, he said how good the live recording was, but the one I heard again had that too much of that 80s polish to it, and it was really, yeah. Anyway, more Bowie, great compilation of stuff here, from his sort of late, from Ziggy Stardust onwards to Golden Years fame. This is one I used to have again when I was younger. Actually, I've probably got it on CD because I've got most of U2 stuff. But this was, this got a lot of airtime back when I was a big U2 fan. So I I cottoned on to U2, of course, about the time of their War LP, which was released when I was kind of like just about at leaving school, about that time of my life, and went and saw them in 1984 on their War tour here in Christchurch. That was a big sold out gig at the town hall, and that was really, really cool and fucking loud. Some more Bowies, so you know, Ziggy Stardust. What can we say? So this is an original New Zealand issue from back in the day, but I think it plays fairly noisily. But of course, I have it in the new box set. Bowie's Diamond Dogs, Pink Floyd, the last two. Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon. This actually plays reasonably well. It's not too noisy. So it's nice to have a vinyl copy, original New Zealand pressing. And finally, another Pink Floyd, Animals, great LP, of course. Again, this is an original New Zealand pressing from the 77, gatefold. I haven't played this one for a while, so I can't quite remember how noisy it is. But so those are. Oh, actually, I missed one, haven't I? She has a copy of Grace Jones. Oh, yeah, I didn't look in the other. I looked in the wrong place, didn't I? She has a copy of Grace Jones' Night Clubbing LP, which I have, and that plays very, very well. It's some really good nick, and that is such a fantastic album. And also, she has the Police Ghost in the Machine LP, which I forgot about, which are in another cubicle, and I didn't grab that. There may be a couple others that she's got floating around that I've managed to kind of put my hands on. But those are the from that lot there. So they're all her records, but they are now in my collection. Not that she ever plays them, but I need to play a few of them because they're pretty good selection there. Because I don't listen to much classic rock duo nowadays, so I'm too busy buying new stuff. But you know, the opportunity is here to listen to some of my music that I have already, seeing as I'm not buying a lot at the moment. So anyway, that's another video done. So yep, hope you enjoyed that. Catch you later.